Well, hey everybody. At our building, we have an old analog style camera system that's been here for quite a number of years. And unfortunately, it's getting to the point where a lot of the cameras no longer work. The ones that do are a bit fuzzy, and it's not really meeting our needs anymore. But we do want something like this. We have smart doorbells, which are nice. They're Ring style, they're Ring doorbells. So it, pings my phone whenever somebody hits it, and that's great. And Ring does make cameras, which we looked into. Unfortunately, to access and view those cameras, you actually have to pull the app out on your phone and or on your iPad or whatever, and look at them that way. What we want is this style system really for situational awareness. We're going to have cameras at each of our entrances, and then a couple in the larger gathering areas of our building, so that someone who's sitting in this office or the office next door can just look up at a screen, maybe hanging on the wall, and just know at any moment what's going on in the building, who's coming and who's going. We don't have to pull out an app to do that. We just want to be able to have it on the screen in this kind of like Brady Bunch style display, and have it available to us. Now, in order to have that and have the kind of clarity that you're going to want, especially with modern digital cameras, we have a couple of choices. We can either rewire all the wiring, because this is coaxial style cable with B and C connectors is how the current system works, which really is going to carry an analog signal okay, but isn't going to be useful for the digital stuff. A lot of the digital stuff now runs over Ethernet, Cat5, Cat6 style cables, which are great because those were going to carry data and power together. You only have to run one cable, but it does mean recabling everything, which can be a bit of a pain, especially if you don't have somebody volunteer willing to do it. So what we did was we decided to take a flyer, as we like to do, on an inexpensive but heavy wireless system that we just purchased on Amazon. And this is an 8-camera system. It creates its own wireless network. It does not work off of the Wi-Fi in your building. It creates its own wireless network, and it's supposed to have 2K quality cameras. So that's not quite like 4K, but better than 1080p, which even 1080p would probably be adequate to our needs. It does have a hard drive. It will record. We're not so much worried about security with this one, again, other than more situational awareness when people are actually in the building. But if it does catch somebody doing something they ought not be doing, all the better. My concern about this, because it is wireless, is range. The office where this was going to probably live is on one side of the building, and one space we very much want cameras is in our preschool area, which is on the very other side of the building. So we will see if this has the range we need to function how we need it to function. But for now, let's get it out of its box and we'll put it through its paces. All right, so let's unbox this thing and see what we got inside. What I'm expecting to find is 8 cameras and a main control box. Oh, we get some stickers. Look at that. All right, right away, we're getting some bonuses. We got that. Pull out, let's see, this box here has, our power supplies. You do have to run power to each individual camera. So these are your power supplies, standard 120 volt barrel connector. On those, I believe the cables are about 10 feet long, if I remember what I read on the ad. Here we are. So those are antenna. Okay. So it looks like each camera has an antenna that you wire to the camera separately. That could help us with our range issue that I'm worried about. If we can do that, that's interesting. All right, so 8 of these boxes. So I imagine these are actual cameras themselves, and they do appear to be. Let's take this out. Here we go. All right, let's see, here we go. Okay. All right, so here's our camera, a nice looking unit. Got a nice wall mount on it. There would seem to be the adapter for our external antenna. Oh, so it comes with this style that you can put on there. Just want it on the unit itself. This must be if you want to position the antenna then somewhere else. It's got the same brass connector on it, so it's obviously designed to go in there. And then here's the cabling. So we've got, looks like there's your power. Does have an Ethernet. So it looks like you can physically wire these if you want to as well. So that's kind of cool. Not sure what this guy here is. Oh, there's a button. I guess we'll have to read the directions and find out what the button does. So those are the cameras. You get some mounting hardware, it looks like. So you can mount it to the wall, and some little drywall anchors that I really would not trust. All right, so here is the unit itself. So this will be the thing that actually lives in the office that everything talks to. All right. So here are the antennas that go with it. Pretty standard, kind of looks like, you know, any kind of like DVD player or anything you might have. DC input like you would expect. Network connection. Not sure what the USB for is. HDMI out, VGA out. Audio, yes, we did get the version that I believe the cameras actually do have audio on them as well, so you can monitor audio and maybe talkback. I can't remember if we got that feature or not, but maybe has that as well. All right, we got a, all right, a website and everything you need to know. Needs Cloud, FAQ, and how you set it all up. All right, well, now that we got it out of the box, I'm gonna mock it up and try a few things and see what it will do. All right, as you can see, I got a few of the cameras set up. I didn't set them all up, but I got 4 of them sort of scattered around our building, including camera number 1, which is just right here in front of me. As you can see, a little bit of delay, as you would expect for this kind of system. This one right here, however, was the one that I was most worried about. This is the one that is furthest away from me. It's downstairs in the other part of the building. Couple of things. When I first plugged it in using the antenna that it comes with in a box, didn't work, wouldn't connect. When I went back and used the other one of these guys and just sort of rudimentarily like taped it to the ceiling real quick to get up a little higher, it did connect. Now it's showing me I've got only a couple of bars of connection to it. Everything else has definitely got, you know, at least 3 bars. These 2 cameras here are also pretty far on the other side of the building, so there's a pretty decent range. And of course we've got full bars for the one that's right here. So all in all, I would say it definitely works. It did what I wanted it to do, which is I just took it out of the box and plugged it in, and that was about it. There is a setup process you can go through on the box itself to get it connected to your Wi-Fi. It can connect to your wired internet or it connect to your Wi-Fi, because you can remotely view this if you want, you know, which is a nice feature. And I believe there's an app you can get that will connect and help you do that as well. Or you can type the IP address into your web browser for the unit itself. That works fine. So for what we want it to do, I think it works okay. I did go ahead while I was testing it and order a couple more of these. You can pick up these more long-range antennas, and they do actually make a difference. I can tell you that. These are about $10 a piece. They also, for $30, will sell you a Wi-Fi range extender that basically acts as a repeater for the Wi-Fi that this puts out. So you can put that kind of like halfway in between this unit and where most of your cameras are going to be. I went ahead and ordered one of those too. Like, we'll see how that goes. But other comments, well, I know they call it a 2K system. This is not the best screen by any means. I'm not sure what they mean when they say 2K. The box itself is only putting out 1080p. It may be recording at a higher quality, and there is a way that you can, of course, access the recordings off the system if you're using it for more of a security camera kind of setup. So that is available, and those recordings may actually be higher quality than what we're seeing on the screen. That's certainly a possibility. I will say the setup process on this is pretty clunky. The USB ports are actually for this mouse you get, and so all of the stuff you do on here is through the mouse. You can bring up a little control screen. As you can see, I gotta do this backwards. How am I gonna do this backwards? And so with my mouse, I can go here and I can actually double click on one of these and make that the whole screen. If I want to see just one of them, I can, of course, double click and it goes back. The mouse input has a bit of a delay, and I'm not sure if that's due to the really cheap mouse or just the units not keeping up. I imagine it's this mouse. This is not a very good mouse at all. I imagine we'll probably replace this with a nice wireless mouse so we can access it. We can kind of put this up and out of the way, and then we can still continue to access the different services on it through there. So on the whole, I would say I'm pretty impressed with the unit for its price point. This is only a few $100s. It's fairly inexpensive. It is expandable. I did notice that, when you're in here, in your little setup menu, there's a thing to add the repeater right there, so that you can do that and get a little bit more range out of it. So for what it is and what we want to use it for, and we didn't want to invest a ton of money, and we don't want to invest a ton of money in running cables and all of that, it works. It does what it says it's going to do. Does it do the best job of it? No. But is it going to give us what we want? Again, that kind of situational awareness where we can, at a glance, see kind of what's going on in the coming of going in our building. Yeah, it will do that for us. Probably no problem. So on the whole, I would say understand what you're buying when you buy this. If you want higher quality, if you want higher quality video, if you want something else, you're going to need to spend more money than this costs. If you want something that's just kind of cheap that you can plug in and it's just going to work, especially if your building isn't overly huge, or if you're using it around your home or an office, this is going to do the trick. There were a couple online reviews that said the box's fan was a little noisy. I haven't noticed that. In fact, it's far quieter than the one that we have. I hear the hard drive noise in there more than I hear the fan, which is actually a little bit of a concern because it means that the hard drive in here is, I think, an actual hard disk, like a spinning disk, as opposed to a solid state disk. So those are moving parts. How long will that last? I don't know. But it should go a pretty good long time. I would think, the one that we have in our system right now is, has a spinning disk, and it's been there for almost 10 years and it's been fine. So on the whole, I'd say if you're looking for a simple system that's just easy, plug and play, just turn it all on and it goes, especially if you want to have the use case that we have where you just want to be able to see what's going on around you, this system does that. Doesn't do much else. I don't imagine that the online features are all that useful because they usually aren't, but it does do this. It does do this fine. If I were buying this again, I would just go ahead and order a couple more of these right off the bat because you're probably going to need them in some of your farther flung places.
Well, hey everybody, it's me from the future, and I want to show you where we ended up with our security system. This is the TV that hangs on the wall, and as you can see, all 8 channels are up and running. We've got our main door right there, and it's right there where our office person can look at it and see it. In order to make that work, because this space is so on one side of the building, there is actually an HDMI cable that runs up there through our ceiling and out to where we eventually ended up putting the box, which is way up there. It's on that shelf. Now, nice that has it out of the way. No one really can get to it or mess with it, and it seems to have a good signal over the whole building. We did replace the mouse with a USB wireless mouse, and we put that on a little bit of an extender that goes from there up to there. And that gets it close enough to the office that the mouse works on the screen as well. Maybe not the neatest or cleanest, but it does work, and it did save us having to put wires throughout the entire building. So that's nice.
All right, well, I just appreciate you being here. I appreciate you supporting the channel. This is actually something we purchased ourselves. This is not a sponsored product or anything like that, but there are affiliate links down below if you want to take a look at this on Amazon and want to support us. Until I see you again, have a great day. Hey everybody, if you found that video helpful, please hit like and subscribe, and also check the video description for links to any products you've seen in today's videos. Doing that really helps support this channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment with any questions that you may have. A lot of the content I do is based directly on the questions and the feedback you give, so keep that coming and I will keep making them. Thank you.